have anything to do with that group of people.
What, the bird leather?
Yeah, the bird leather.
Bunch of heathens, if you ask me.
That's right.
We're just gonna get right into it.
Oh.
No, hi, how are you doing? Just boom, here we are.
No, I was answering a question, didn't you hear? So before we actually let you read it, I'm going to go ahead and open us up with some prayer. But before we do that...
You're going to do the intro, aren't you?
I am.
Oh, wait.
I had a conversation with my friend Ross.
Now you want to talk about the red heifer again.
Or do you? Do you have any more information about that?
I don't really know what I'm doing.
I don't really... I understand that they're wanting to do that. But, I mean, I know I've said it before, but...
And you'll say it again.
Yeah, I will. You know, that right there in itself is going to be an abomination to God if they ever begin to have... Christians should not be excited about that, except for the fact that it's showing that things are progressing towards the end. I mean, it looks like, yeah, that's going to help. That's one more step towards Jesus coming back.
Well, now hang on. Now I want to dissect what you just said about we should not want that.
Well, I mean, because that's pretty much a slap in the face of Jesus Christ, because his sacrifice atones once and for all. And in the book of Hebrews, it elaborates it quite extensively that, you know, it used to use bulls and heifers and animals, but now, thanks to the Lord Jesus Christ, you know, it's a once for all time sin atonement there, you know. And if you go back to that, it's like trampling the Son of God underfoot. I think that'd be the biggest insult, not I guess just to Christianity, but to God, because of His Son's sacrifice that He did. And it's just a furtherance of the rejection of Yeshua.
I get that, but I know that He can handle it, and He will handle it. See how?
I knew I
See, if I had a mask on, I wouldn't have this problem.
Yes, you would, because it'd go right through it. It doesn't stop it, because it doesn't help anything coming in. So
James, it's about reduction, not elimination.
No,
can't you see?
It doesn't reduce.
It does reduce.
Because the CDC actually said, with all the wildfires going on in the West, you're not supposed to wear that because it does not prevent the smoke or anything like that from getting in. If it can't prevent something big, how is it going to prevent something small?
Vapor and droplets are two different things, nerd. Come on. That's easy.
If it can prevent droplets, it should be able to prevent vapor.
No, it doesn't.
Because they're saying that the molecules are so big, and you should read the article that...
If somebody would have shared it with me, I would have.
No, I failed to do that because it's just one more nail in the coffin of your ideology of mask us. Keep us masked.
You know, there was some dumb joke I heard about Paul and Damascus.
No, it's like I'm going to be like Paul on the road to Damascus.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there we go. We can talk about that. Your little comment about, what does it say? What did you say about the Jason's? I'm assuming that's what you're referring to, the email that Jason sent out.
Oh, that comment.
Recommended versus required.
No, Angie was reading it to me, and it wasn't recommended or required. It was
suggested.
It wasn't. No, we strongly suggest or recommend, or I can't remember what it was, but he just like strongly. In other words, it's like, we know we're gonna get have a front of with tolerance, but then it's like, no, we strongly like that. We still want to emphasize, no, we still want you in a mask.
So that brings up an interesting point too. Like, would you? So you're still not apt to come back, even though the verbiage changed.
The verbiage. Yeah, no. See, the verbiage may have changed slightly, but is it allowed for a whole family to be in there with no mask on?
So here's the conundrum.
I know he's got it pretty hard.
The conundrum is, now that this mandate has been lifted, or the things are changing, the verbiage has changed, and they're aware there's no enforcement. There's families that are leaving because of the no mask deal.
Yeah, so it's going to go both ways.
So now, how does that make you feel that you would bump somebody out of a congregation because they feel it's unsafe for their family? Does that not affect you at all?
That they feel it's unsafe for their family?
Right.
Why do they feel like it's unsafe for their family if they're wearing a mask?
Why can't they have convictions like you do about not having a mask?
No, they can. They can wear theirs if they want to. So that's what I don't understand is like, even, see, the ones who are saying, well, if the other person chooses not to, I'm still refusing to do whatever because their choice. No, the problem with it initially was that you are suppressing the other person's choice by saying, no, even if you don't want to, you still have to. We're not that's not even the same choice you're giving this other person now. No, they still can.
I don't know why you can't see it. Like I don't get it. Like it's something like that. Whenever any of this stuff comes up and it affects the way that somebody would worship or serve, like if that's when it bothers me is the serving part of it. Like that hits me heavy. Like sure, you're convicted, do or don't, whatever. But when it affects another, that's when we should really weigh it a lot more heavily.
Well, no one weighed it when it affected half the people in churches to begin with. I mean, right now, what you're saying is the same cry that people were saying at the beginning because you were alienating healthy people just because they didn't want to follow a silly mandate.
It's not silly in that why is that such? I still don't understand why that's such a big deal.
What? Haven't been told
you
to
cannot
something that
you
really
cannot
has
tell me
no science behind it. There isn't really any science behind it other than, hey, this piece of cloth helps. But no, wait a minute, you have to buy a lie that, oh, my mask helps you and your mask helps me. Well, if it helps the other person, it helps you too. It's a piece of cloth. It works both ways.
And that's just it. There's all kind of different research that has been done, and
in both ways. And you have people crying on both sides of the aisle about the effectiveness.
One of the things that you had said, I think it was you, or maybe it was Pool Boy, that it's novel, right? Why are we calling it novel? And the idea that it's so new that we don't know how it's going to respond or react, and to what it's going to do in this environment, on this surface, on this material, what it does. How can it be? How can it be contained, or what do you need to do? And they're finding more
personal hygiene, hand washing.
But there's more to it than that. And the masks do work, and different masks do achieve a higher percentage rate of blocking it, but you're not, like, again, you're not going to eliminate it. But the whole idea is everybody doesn't get sick like they did in New York, like all at the same time, because it's going to overwhelm our whole medical structure that we have here.
Well, theoretically, but New York wasn't hit as hard as they were putting out in the mainstream media either.
But they were. I have a very close friend that has family up there, and her son actually goes to college up there, and they got hit every bit as hard as they said. Once you're deemed infected or whatever, you can't see your family and all this other stuff.
Well, right now you don't even have to be deemed effective to not even see your family. And that's the biggest issue. It actually mimics the flu. It has the same symptoms, maybe sometimes severe
James,
if you already have a weakened immune system. But then the thing is like we're treating everybody healthy as if they're sick, and then it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And that's where I have the problem with people. If someone chooses not to wear a mask and then this other person gets offended, well, you're not supposed to sit there and judge somebody if they're not even sick.
Nobody's judging anybody.
Well, you're judging them if you think that they're the ones contaminating or it's not healthy for your family now because this other person chooses not to wear a mask. If they're not sick, well, then there is no health risk at all to begin with.
That's fine if you take into consideration everything that you said, with the exception of being asymptomatic, which you could be a carrier and not have any idea that you have no symptoms.
Yeah, of the flu, of strep, of 20,000 other viruses that go around.
If you have strep
year.
throat, you know it, and you're gonna know it.
No, you can be asymptomatic of every single one of those.
You can be, but the percentage is way different.
See, you can be, and if you are, you're not gonna know it.
If you have the flu, you ain't gonna go out.
If you are asymptomatic of flu-like symptoms, I mean, you may not have the flu symptoms, but you may still have the virus.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, it's not. You could still be contagious.
Bro, you need to really dig in. We're praying for a brother right now, a firefighter in Clayton. This thing is bad. This is not.
No, it can be. I don't.
This is not the flu.
With it, that it
this
can
is not, and it's
bad.
not old. It's not just the old and the elderly. I mean, this was a firefighter. These guys are peak health. They have to be. They have to pass all kind of regulation and certified whatever.
I think he needs praying for.
And we certainly will be, but I'm just saying it's serious. It's not some, it's been politicized, but it's more than an agenda. There's something there, and it's something that we should consider. And if we have any, I don't care if it does 0.01%. If I have the ability to do that, why would you not wear a mask?
Because I'm not sick. See, the thing is, a mask is only beneficial for people that have symptoms. It's not doing anything if the person's don't have symptoms at all. You don't have the virus, or you're not spreading it through droplets.
So you don't care that somebody.
And it really is very hypocritical when you can be running down the road, exercising and doing whatever, spewing out more breath, more water droplets, and you don't have to wear it by any mandate. But then if you're walking down the road by yourself, the government is telling you, oh, you have to wear one or have one on your person.
Where's that at?
It's in the mandate that our governor put out.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
No, it's not. Have you ever read it?
That's a bunch of malarkey.
No, it's not.
I don't even want to read it because
several of the exceptions is exercising while outside, running, jogging, doing whatever. Or you can go to a restaurant, sit down and eat. If you're drinking and eating and carrying on like that, you're spewing out water droplets. There's so many hypocrisies to it. Then it's like, why not just tell? Well, if you have any symptoms whatsoever, wear a mask. Or if you're sick, stay home. I'm not against them checking for temperatures in buildings as you go in.
Well, they're scanning for the mark of the beast.
Well, they can't scan for the mark of the beast.
Sure they can.
What, hot-headedness?
Yeah, exactly. You'd set that thing off, wouldn't you?
No, actually, no. They do that every single time I take my kids to the dentist. I've actually had to take Sarah like 3 times in the last month to the orthodontist, and they have to put that little thing, scan your forehead.
I do it every day. There's like a machine that you walk up to, and it scans your forehead.
I'm surprised state doesn't check for temperatures, but the place my brothers work at, they do that. A lot of the businesses do that now. So, Walmart does it.
But to return back to what I'm talking about, the serving. In humility and humbleness, right? We're servants. God sent Jesus here, right? And he came to serve, not to be served. So when it's about me and what I want and how I don't want to wear a mask, or I do want to wear a mask, or whenever I inject that opinion into it, and I'm not taking on the burden of my brother, that's what. And it's not judgment.
When you make serving as, but you have to wear a mask. Oh, you don't need to be thinking about you and your rights, but this person's rights and all that is what they're thinking about. Well, you're still pitting one against the other, and you're saying, well, their rights are more important than your rights.
So, but this is another thing, too.
It's just back and forth.
The difference between the one and the other is if a family's concerned for their safety, whether they're right, wrong, whatever.
Well, the one that don't wear a mask is just as concerned for their safety.
Apparently not.
Because, by wearing a mask, people are more likely, they touch their face more frequently. They're always putting their hands up there, moving the mask. And half the people that wear a mask, they take them on and off during the day. They wear them halfway down their mouth and all that. Walking in the store, you can see it.
How can you be so wrong?
It's not wrong.
No,
actually, it's not wrong. In fact, you're not supposed to let anybody call what you consider good evil. Someone who chooses not to wear a mask is doing it just as much for health reasons and safety conscience. You're not supposed to be breathing you're not supposed to be breathing in your own exhaust all day long. And the OSHA requirements for mask wearing when it comes from any type of fumes or hazard stuff.
You're saying fumes. You're
not fumes. I'm talking about any type of condition in the air, dust, whatever. You're not supposed to wear a mask all day long. Period.
Right.
And yet they're wanting you to wear a mask.
Nobody said that you have to wear a mask all day long.
Except for when you're in your house and when you're out in public or in state-owned buildings and all that, you're supposed to always have a mask.
That's simply not true.
That's what they say.
Who is they and what?
Any policy. Do you not have to wear a mask inside your school?
If I'm in my office, no. I'll take it off. Or if I'm in an area where there's nobody else around, no. If I'm outside, no.
But you gotta always have one with you.
I do have one with me. I always have a bandana with me, regardless if before all this hit or not, just in case I got to show my gang signs. Cougars represent.
But with all of that, I think we all need to find ways to be able to reach out and start serving if you aren't serving already. But I think they need to do it each in their own way and where their conscience is clear before God. If you deem something as a sin or is it wrong for you to do, it's sin. So I think it's wrong to wear a mask and you shouldn't be doing it.
Don't eat meat sacrificed to idols, James.
Well, that's what you're doing when you wear a mask because they say do this because they want social conditioning so that when they do push the mark of the beast, they'll be able to say, "Oh, let's all get back to normal," and everybody has to do this.
Half of what you regurgitated throughout all of it is a political agenda. You understand that?
So is wearing the mask. That's all political.
But there's an underlying there's a biblical truth there underlying that you love your neighbor. And I know that's been drugged through the mud and everything else.
That is somebody playing on a sympathy card that really has the science not backing it.
That looks like it made you mad.
Yeah, because that's one of the sayings that they push out there, as if, oh, you're upholding your Christian values by bowing down to the government and wearing a mask all the time.
Why does it have to be bowing down to the government?
Because that's what they want you to do without the verification of what it's like the silliness of the flu shot. There is not that much evidence at all that it's actually working like it should. And yet everybody wants to say, well, if you love your neighbor, if you care for you, if you're health-wise, if you love your family, you're going to do this or that. No, who are they to tell somebody how they're supposed to act out in love? The scripture doesn't say you have to wear a mask or do a flu shot to love your neighbor. Loving your neighbor is actually action. It's not something that the government can hand down and say you have to do it this way.
That is taking action. Do you not see?
No, it's not.
PPE is action. As much as you want to deny it.
It's not. That personal protective equipment is irrelevant to the spread of the virus.
Spoken like a true Luddite.
No, a Luddite.
Well, I don't even know why I opened that can.
Yeah.
But I was hoping
if you really want to care for your neighbor.
I was hoping that you'd be more enlightened by now.
No,
I was hoping I was having some kind of effect on you.
No, it's like the mask stuff is just the same line of thinking as BLM and all that stuff. You have to think this one certain pattern of way, or you don't care about nobody. Well, that's just entirely and utterly wrong.
You don't have to care about nobody.
No, you do have to care about people. I'm talking about unless they're pushing it as unless you're doing it their way, you don't care about people. And I think that's a ridiculous way of thinking.
Is there no good that can come out of BLM?
No.
There's not one good thing that happened from the movement.
Not that I see. Because what they're doing is over-exaggerating police brutality. Is there police brutality? Yes, it needs to be addressed. But they're over-exaggerating it. Because half of that stuff is using video clips. All of a sudden, lo and behold, seconds, even minutes after the ordeal even starts on every single one of them. And then it cuts off before the culmination of everything. And it's like, then just throw it out there before it's investigated. Well, yeah, I think that's manipulation of events. So I don't really see anything good happening from it. Not from the BLM movement.
Mm.
I see it stirring up race and hatred in America. And I don't see that as good at all.
It's drawing the attention to something that it just is kind of
of their occultic leadership.
I'm not talking about the organization.
Well, you just said BLM. It's driven by occultic thought. It's stirring up racial tension and violence.
The good is to come from the actual, not to subscribe to the organization itself. Obviously, they're not, their roots aren't good or whatever else. But to draw attention to the Black Lives Do Matter, in the sense that
show it by black people stop killing black people. They say that,
but that's
people have already noticed that. People have already been crying out that black people matter. Quit killing all the babies in abortion. They do matter, and nobody has even said that black, white, Hispanic, whoever's lives matter. But now it's like you can't, unless you say black lives matter, you're a racist. No, all lives matter.
All lives do matter.
Nobody has ever thought black people didn't matter. And in fact, it's their own conditioning that has done it, because majority of black people that are being killed is black on black crime. So I don't understand.
So that means that you just forget about it because it's black on black?
Nobody has to forget about it. I don't think anybody has forgotten about it. I think what it is that people are throwing up one aspect of violent crime and saying that unless you think this way, you're not caring about black people, and that's not true.
I don't know.
I don't see one good thing that come out of BLM.
The idea, this is what I was trying to say. The idea that there is many biases that we hold on to that we don't even realize that we have. You said one just now.
What's that?
Black on black crime.
No, that is one aspect of actual crime. They have statistics out there for the black on black crime, black on white crime, white on black crime, white on white crime. That is where that is.
Oh, I know all the stats and the population. If you
that
look
is not a bias. That is not a bias. I don't think all black people are bad. No, a bias.
You just said it.
I said no. I said
you're a racist. I knew it. You're a racist and a fascist.
That is not true. That's exactly what that group does. Is that they throw words out and they label people before anybody has any idea of what's going on.
If you sit here and tell me that there is not a problem, then I'm going to pray even harder for you to understand.
Problem? No, there is I just got through telling you there is police brutality. There is violence that needs to be stopped. But BLM isn't the organization that has put a light on it.
What organization should it be?
Well, the church.
The church that doesn't care.
No,
that's
who
the problem.
says that? I think that people just are assuming that.
Well,
then why would there be so many grassroots movements in communities that are from churches?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Trying to help out in these communities.
We will sit in our homes and do these things and have these conversations, but when it comes to action, we're few and far between, and that's why you're going to Baltimore with me. And I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. You won't gain any perspective without experience, and you won't get any experience unless you take action. And I can't even explain it. I see some of the conversations that people are having, and I had to let go of the Facebook too, man. It just got too brutal.
About to. It's just getting too political.
But people from the church that are just pushing others out and... But I know my brothers and sisters in Baltimore and how they feel and how they've been affected, and they each have stories to tell, and I can say, well, Glenn Beck said this and this stat and all, and it's when you go there, it transforms you, and it's not because I'm saying that I subscribe to Black Lives Matter as an organization, but when you go to where the problem is, right? That's the idea. You don't go where there's.
That's one problem. That's the thing that black communities are not the only communities that have problems. So it's wherever wherever God is leading your heart to get involved in, get involved.
Get involved.
Absolutely.
He's leading your heart right now through me. How do you like that?
To a mud run?
No, that mud run has nothing.
I bet it's on that weekend.
Mud runs don't matter. How about that?
That sounds very...
I'm going to get a shirt that says mud runs don't matter.
All mud matters.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna do my darndest to get somebody to have a conversation about this stuff from Baltimore.
Okay.
Just to gain
I've
gain
been
some
involved
insight.
in several missions in what is it? Red Spring? No, was it Red Springs? It's in North Carolina, but it's a impoverished area that very predominantly like black populated. And we were building a house down there, and it was actually going to be given over to a member of the community. So, I mean, I think anybody, if you have a gift or a skill, you need to be using it for the Lord, but you have to go where the Lord is leading you.
Oh, He leads. Oh, he's leading.
Sometimes it's by a chokehold. Mm-hmm. But anyhow.
Wait, how did we just...
I don't know. You have thrown us off on a tangent.
I asked a simple question.
No, it was not.
It was a simple question.
The eyes said it all.
Huh?
Your eyes said it all.
Whatever. Wait, I didn't get to ask the entire question. Are you going to shine now or no? You're still being stubborn.
I'm letting my light shine in my house.
Man. Are you going to be a shiner when everything blows over, whatever the election...
the election. See, and that's another thing. Even the Democratic Party is talking about, yeah, this all be over after the election.
It won't. This is here to stay, just like
Well, no, if they
SARS or whatever.
If they get in there, it's going to be mandatory mask all around.
Ooh,
We're going to be imprisoned.
mandatory.
For our faith.
What would you do? Mandatory vaccine?
No, sir.
Oh boy.
Yep. No, sir.
Wait, so you said you're not going, all right? Never mind.
Yeah.
If they say you have to wear a mask, I'll go. If they say you don't have to wear a mask, I'll go. Like I'm going. I'm not going there because it's political. I'm going to worship Jesus and read the Word and fellowship.
Yeah. So if I felt like I should be wearing a mask, I should be able to go and worship Jesus and
Doggone it, James.
It's the same. We're thinking the same way. It's just that
flexibility.
Very flexible.
Rule number one.
I'm very
in
flexible.
any mission trip that you ever do.
You can wear a mask if you want when you worship Jesus, and I will not wear a mask when I worship Jesus. That's being flexible. I'm willing to live.
All right, let's
live with my brother.
Let's move along. We could probably talk for another hour about nonsense.
It's just going to go round and round.
Because I'm right.
Some people aren't right.
Because I'm right. Over there.
With that, you've been listening to the Word Lover podcast with your host, James Beasley. But with that, we hope that if anything that you need to leave a comment below, or always email us at thewordloverpodcast@gmail.com. And make sure you spell that the Word Lover podcast, not bird lover.
I'm going to make an email that's just bird leather.
Just in case somebody does.
Yeah.
We hope you have a great week. God bless.